There is nothing more frustrating than finding an awesome Pokemon you love, only to realize it's stuck as a single stage or two-stage line with absolutely no room to grow. Well, today we're changing that. I installed a Cobblemon add-on that gives every single Generation 1 Pokemon a full 3-stage evolution line, complete with adorable baby forms, awkward middle stages, and insane final evos. Today we'll be covering them all, but before I do, I want to give a massive shout out to Jet, who is not only one of the lead developers behind this awesome add-on, but also an active member in our Discord. Make sure to send him some love. If you want to try this add-on yourself, the link will be in the description down below. But with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into it with the new baby Pokemon. And our first baby Pokemon is going to be Spherat, the baby version of Rattata. Look at this little cutie. This is exactly how I would imagine a baby Rattata to be. And yeah, this one really doesn't disappoint. The little eyes, the little ears, and the cute little like twirly tail. This one is so cute. I love this one. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. The next Pokemon we have is Chunkadillo, which is going to be the pre-evolution of Sandshrew. This one kind of reminds me of like a chonky or Sandshrew, even like maybe unbaked bread. I don't know why I think that, but it just kind of looks like that to me. This one is incredibly cute, the little blue eyes. This one is just adorable. Then we have Sporas, which is going to be the pre-evolution of Paris. The cool thing about this Pokemon is actually when you go into battle with it, let's look for a Pokemon that we can battle. Okay, Pokemon. Okay, Zigzagoon, you are going to be my test subject. When you actually go into battle with this Pokemon, its little head pops out, which is so cute. Now we have to actually kill this Zigzagoon, sadly. Okay, X-Scissor, do your thing. Okay, there you go. Okay, but look at this little cutie, and when the battle is done, he goes back in. Oh my god, that's so cute. So, Sporas, another 10 out of 10 for me. I really like this idea. Okay, next up, we have Venopuff, the pre-evolution of Venonat. To be honest, this one just kind of looks like Venonat, but naked, like without all of the fluff. And I don't know, I really like it. It's really cute. The little nose and like the cute little eyes, it really just tells a really cute story that it like maybe grows its fur the longer it ages. This one, in my opinion, I'm not gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because it feels not as like unique as the previous ones, but still a very cute new baby Pokemon. Okay, and now for the best one that we've seen, Meowsy, the pre-evolution of Meowth, and look at this little cutie. But yeah, what this really looks like to me is just a mix of Meowth and Persian, which is really cool to see. I don't know why it would like, when it evolves, stand up on 2 feet, and when it evolves into Persian, it goes back to standing on 4 feet. But Meowsy, of course, another 10 out of 10. I think this is my favorite until now. And now for a Pokemon that I don't really like. This is Bevel, the pre-evolution of Psyduck. I don't really know how to feel about this guy, to be honest. In my opinion, this one looks way more like a Porygon pre-evolution than like an actual Psyduck pre-evolution, because why would this thing turn into a duck? I have absolutely no idea. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. Let's move on. I'm getting scared of this thing. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Pumber, which is going to be the pre-evolution of Growlithe. I'm going to be completely honest and say that this does not look like a Growlithe pre-evolution. I don't know, if you take a look at like Growlithe and Arcanine, this one doesn't really fit inside of the evolution tree in my opinion. I think it should be way more orange and maybe have the same type of eyes and maybe the same type of mouth, because this one really kind of feels like the odd one out. I don't know why. I don't really think this one fits. This feels way more like a Rockruff pre-evolution to me. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think this is a good pre-evolution for Growlithe, or should they change it or make it someone else's pre-evolution? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, next up, we have Jelmet. I love this one. I'm not even gonna lie. This is one of my favorite, like, babies out of the whole entire mod. Look at this. What I personally think it is a tentacle with a helmet to, like, kind of, like, defend its head, which is super cute. It has, like, the 2 little lights on top. The very droopy looking eyes. It looks kind of scared and sad, but the more it evolves, the, like, more confident it gets. So that's really cool to see. I love this one. I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10 as well. Now we're gonna move on to, dare I say it, the best baby of the whole mod. Look at this. A moment of silence for this new baby, Slowpoke. Look at this. The pre-evolution for Slowpoke. And it looks so cute. It has the little tail, the little ears, the droopy, derpy looking eyes. This one is perfect. And this guy is called Bullpoke. You might wonder, why is this guy named Bullpoke? Because he actually is a bull. I don't know how this works, but this Pokemon is a bull. Maybe you can drink out of him. I have no idea. I don't know what the lore is behind it as well, so maybe someone can tell me in the comments down below why this Pokemon is a bull. But aside from the bull part, this is the cutest Pokemon we've seen by far in today's video, so another 10 out of 10 for me. Now we have Onyat. Onyat is the pre-evolution of Farfetch'd and looks absolutely menacing. I would not want to see this little bird like chasing me because he looks feisty. But aside from the feisty, angry looking eyebrows, this is another very cute Pokemon and a perfect like little addition to the evolution line, in my opinion. I always, when I got Farfetch'd in any of the games or in Cobblemon, I was always like, why doesn't this guy have a pre-evolution or an evolution? It always felt weird to me. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Doduo, and look at this little cutie. This is the pre-evolution to Doduo, and as you can see, he only has one head, which makes me wonder, when this guy evolves into Doduo, do they have the same brain, or are they like two people or like two animals inside of the same body? And when you go into Dodrio, are they three of the same animals in one body, or are they the same mind? Like, is it a hive mind or is it more like one singular mind? I have no idea. So many questions. Aside from those crazy questions, this bird kind of looks like a grumpy old man, but in the best way possible. I absolutely love how this dude looks. If I were to find this in my world, I would absolutely catch him. Moving on, we now have Shield, which I don't know how to feel about this guy. This one is a little creepy. He kind of looks like he's gonna attack me. He's like waving and stuff. He wants me to approach him and then he's gonna like rob me. That's kind of like the feeling I get from this guy. I am not the biggest fan. The model is very great, but they don't really fit into the evolution line, in my opinion. But still a very cool Pokemon. If I found this guy, I would run away. That's the only thing I'm saying. Moving on, we now have Sludug. Sludug is going to be the pre-evolution of Grimer. Very cool looking Fakemon, but like I said before, the eyes don't really match with the original Pokemon. If you see Grimer's eyes, they kind of have like the old anime type eyes, and this one has like yellow and black and white eyes. That's the only thing that's kind of bothering me with this pack, that the eyes aren't really consistent. So maybe if they were to update this and make all the eyes like the same, that would be perfect. But aside from that, still a cool looking Pokemon. It kind of like reminds me of Wimpod, but then like sludge version. A very cool Fakemon as well. And next up we have Snubbull, and to be honest, I know I've said this like 100 times already, another one of my favorites. This is like a piece of onyx. I don't know how I could explain it any better. This is like one of the pieces of onyx, and it just collects more rocks, and the more rocks it collects, the bigger it becomes, and after a while it just becomes an onyx. That's kind of the story I'm getting from this little Pokemon. Very cool looking design. I love this. If I were to find this in a cave, I would catch it immediately. Next up we have Pocorp, which is going to be the pre-evolution of Voltorb. Like I said before, the eyes are still a little bit of a mismatch, but aside from that, this is just like the Pokeball model, but kind of changed and in all of the colors. So I have the red one right here, but they are available in all of the different colors. And if you evolve it with a certain Pokeball, well, when it's holding a Pokeball and you evolve it, it will actually turn that color. So that's very cool to see. I'm gonna give this Pokemon a 6 out of 10. And moving on, we have Kiss Seed. The mod page did refer to this one as a filler Pokemon, so I'm not gonna take it too seriously. This is the pre-evolution of Execute, which makes sense now that I think about it, because Execute, it has like this big egg at the back of it. Maybe this falls off, it breaks open, it drops like all of the Executes, and then the Executes turn into an Executor. and then the whole cycle repeats. That could be a cool little story. This Pokemon looks super goofy, but in the best way possible. I love this guy. Moving on, we have the pre-evolution of Hitmontop right here with the cute little bear mask, the very long looking arms. Yeah, those are his arms, which perfectly aligns with like Hitmontop, because Hitmontop is like kind of like a Beyblade spinner type thing. So this guy having like very long arms and maybe spinning when it attacks, like perfectly aligns with how Hitmontop works. So the story beats work perfectly, and design wise I also really like this Pokemon. This is one of the designs I really like. I don't know if the headpiece is supposed to look like a bear, but it reminds me of bears and I love bears. So this one is, I'm gonna say, an 8 out of 10. Moving on, we have Cough Cough, and this guy is another classic. This is perfect design, perfect like pre-evolution material. This is just what I want to see in add-ons like this. This guy looks so incredibly cute, just like a tinier coughing. Just perfect. I'm gonna give this one another 10 out of 10. If you make a tinier Pokemon that looks derpy and cute, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. This guy doesn't even blink, so that, oh, he does blink. Okay, he's just a little guy floating around and just doing his thing. Moving on, we're going to take a look at Vadavine, which is going to be the pre-evolution of Tangela. Design-wise, I don't know how to feel about it. It looks like an unknown with bare feet, like human bare feet, and a blue hat. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. It looks like I said before, bare feet, unknown. It doesn't get any better than this. Next up, we have Teeniroo, which is going to be our first Pokemon we're actually going to evolve, because this Pokemon and its evolution are actually both pre-evolutions of Kangaskhan. So, as you may know, this is just a little baby Pokemon inside of a Kangaskhan's like little belly pouch. So, what do you say we evolve it? Evolution time, let's take a look. There it goes. Boom. Oh my god, that's actually gigantic. Wow. Here we have Puberoo, which is a very cool looking Pokemon. It doesn't have any like kid inside of its belly pouch. It doesn't even have a belly pouch yet. So it's just like the puberty version of a Kangaskhan, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have Starufo, which is going to be the pre-evolution of Staryu. I wouldn't really like guess just looking at the Pokemon, which in my opinion is very cool, because I think Staryu is supposed to be an alien. So as you can see, when we look from the top, you actually have the little starfish like pattern already, and also like the giant bulb. So it's a perfect like pre-evolution for Staryu and Starmie. I really like this one. I'm gonna give this in terms of design a 9 out of 10, even though it's very simple, but it really gets the job done. Now, next up, we have Chiseler, the pre-evolution of Scyther, which he looks shocked. He has seen some things. In my opinion, there couldn't have been a better pre-evolution for Scyther, because this one kind of looks like a baby Cleavor. And as you may know, Cleavor is the like prehistoric version of Scyther and like Scizor. So this is just perfect. The color scheme, the whole like design, it just really works very well together. What it also really reminds me of is like an insecure kid with like giant eyes, like looking at everything around the world, like taking it all in, learning a lot of stuff, and then like evolving into Scyther to be like the really cool looking guy. Next up, we have Babug, which is going to be the second Pokemon we're actually going to evolve. I want you guys to take a guess in the comments down below which Pokemon this dude evolves into. I just know a lot of you are going to be wrong. You might get a better idea who this Pokemon is going to evolve into in its final stage. Boom! And here we have Toddlebug. Okay guys, drop your guesses down below, because 3, 2, 1... this Pokemon evolves into Heracross. I wouldn't have guessed in a million years that this Pokemon would evolve into Heracross, but it does, and I kind of like it. I like the like whole idea of like 2 tiny Pokemon in the first 2 stages of the evolution, and then like a giant cool looking beetle at the end. A very cool addition to its evolution line. I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Bavidal, and this is going to be the pre-evolution of Tauros, Miltank, and Buffalant. Okay, I'm so happy he was like walking behind it. This is really cinematic. How do you evolve Bavidal into one of those Pokemon. Well, I'm gonna just put it on screen because I have no idea how to explain this. You can evolve this Pokemon into Miltank, Tauros, and Bouffalant with all of the like different day and like weather cycles. It has like a whole system behind it. It's very cool. Aside from like the ton of evolution options you get from this Pokemon, the design is also very cute. I like the little like bell it's wearing and like the golden rings around its horns, and then like the very big cute little nose. I love this Pokemon, and I love that you can evolve it into like 3 different Pokemon, which is kind of connects all of the other Pokemon together, which in my opinion is very cool. Moving on, we now have Mini-Carp. Look at this. Mini Magikarp. This is the best thing ever. Yeah, to be honest, the design is just like Magikarp but tinier, but yeah, nobody can hate on this. This is a very cute looking Pokemon, and it just works in my opinion. Now for another Pokemon that should have evolutions or pre-evolutions, we have Lapras and its new 2 pre-evolutions, which are going to be Clemini and Shellac. Look at this. This kind of looks like a prehistoric little fish dinosaur thing, and it just works perfectly with Lapras. I love this. It also looks like it has like a fossil on its back, to be honest. Very cool looking Pokemon. Moving on from Lapras, we now have Duplopi, which is the pre-evolution of Ditto. Being honest, this looks very alien and I love it. It's perfect for Ditto. I don't know really what I'm looking at. I think that on the top is his eye, and then the little like line underneath it is its mouth. I have no idea, but I love its alien look. Next up, we have Teeny, the pre-evolution of Eevee. I'm gonna be honest, I am not the biggest fan of Eevee, so this is not really my cup of tea. It looks alright. It kind of looks like the Dynamax form, but like a little bit smaller. In my opinion, Eevee already has like all of the evolutions. We do not need a pre-evolution, and I'm also a big Eevee hater, so this one gets a 0 out of 10 for me. The model, the sounds, everything is great, but I just hate Eevee, so 0 out of 10. Get back in the ball. Next up, we have Mollusk, and the cool thing about this Pokemon is the brown part you see is actually the Pokemon, and the thing on the back is actually a fossil. So if you find this guy in like Lush Caves or any other cave, and you give it like with the restoration tank, you give it a lot of like grass, saplings, all of the like organic material, it will actually evolve into the fossil it's like carrying on its back. So this one would turn into an Ammonite, which is super cool. Like the Pokemon just fuses with the fossil and becomes that Pokemon, which is very cool to see. Okay guys, I have terrible news. We only have 2 baby Pokemon left, and the first one is going to be Petitero, and this is the pre-evolution of Aerodactyl, which I really like. I do wonder now, does Mollusk with Aerodactyl's fossil turn into this one or into Aerodactyl? That is something I need to look up. Okay, so that's super cool. So Mollusk actually works as the little puzzle piece in like all of the fossil evolution lines. So for Kabuto, for Ammonite, it makes them all 3-stagers, and also Aerodactyl, but Aerodactyl is a 1-stager, so they needed to make a baby version of Aerodactyl, so Mollusk fits into that 3-stage line now. So if you find a Mollusk with Aerodactyl's fossil on the back, you will actually get a Petitero, which is super cool. That's actually very clever. With my mind now blown, let's give Petitero a rating, and in my opinion, it's just a cute little dragon. You can't go wrong with that, like some sort of bird dragon, so I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, and it has some crazy animations, but I expect nothing less from Jet and his friends. And now for the last baby Pokemon, we have Lilunch. And Lilunch is the pre-evolution of Munchlax. This guy is just super goofy. Look at this. This guy is just super creepy, to be honest. Imagine just laying in bed and having this thing like stand next to you. I would be scared for my feet. Like he would just eat my feet, it seems like. And he keeps following me around. You're a creepy guy. And your eyes close like unevenly. That's... You look kind of stupid. Do you have a tail? He has a tail. And a giant mouth. This kind of like reminds me of the Repo character in a way. But yeah, so this Pokemon evolves into Munchlax, and then Munchlax can evolve into Snorlax. This is just the perfect little addition to that whole evolution line. Okay guys, but those were all the new baby Pokemon and the middle stagers. Now we're gonna move on to the new evolutions. I know you guys are excited for that, so without further ado, let's take a look. Let's start off with by far one of the coolest new mons in this whole entire pack, and that is going to be Skill Sap. Look at this. This is the new evolution for Arbok. Wow, I almost forgot the name. But look at this model. This model is beautiful. It looks like a dragon type. Wait, let me take a look. This is a dragon poison type. Okay, that explains it a lot. This is just like what Arbok should have been. This is something we need in the normal Pokemon games. An Arbok evolution that looks this cool. Okay, next up, we now have the evolution for Ninetales. And this is going to be Kitsunesho. Kitsunesho? Kitsunesho. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Let's take a look at this model. This is a giant Pokemon. I love this. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tails. Okay, that explains the Ninetales evolution tree. And it just looks great. I love this Pokemon. I'm kind of wondering if I can ride this guy. We can't ride it. Let's move on to the next evolution, which is going to be Ascendig, and this is going to be the evolution for Duck Trio. And as you can see, this Duck Trio just took out a whole boulder and just claimed it for itself and made it into a planet and made itself into a castle with a mustache, a crown, and even some minions in front of it. Very cool. I love what they did with this evolution, but I do not see this being in like an actual Pokemon game because this is a little too crazy. Okay, next evolution is going to be Yo-ho-ho. This is Stalialava. Stalialava? Am I Stalialava? Yes. Yo, and this is going to be the evolution for Rapidash. And to be honest, this is something I've been waiting for so long. An evolution for Rapidash. Well, an actual good-looking one. This is just like Rapidash being like completely engulfed in fire and putting some armor on and just breaking out of the armor. That is insane. And you can ride this one. Yo. Okay, that's even cooler. And it has insane riding animations. Oh my goodness. Okay, that makes this Pokemon even cooler. The next evolution is going to be Baguetched, which is going to be a new evolution for Farfetch'd at level 32 when you give it a piece of bread. Look at this little guy. He has like, he has an apricorn on its back. He has like a bread sword. Do not mess with this guy. I really like what they did with this one. But I don't know. I was kind of expecting something more from a Farfetch'd evolution, so who knows, maybe they add a cooler evolution to Farfetch'd later on. The next Pokemon is going to be Broslow, which is going to be a new evolution for Slowpoke. And as you can see, instead of eating the tail, now the shell has just consumed its whole entire head, making it look more like a dinosaur in my opinion, but still looking very cool. Can I ride this guy? I cannot ride this guy. The animations are slick. The overall model is also very cool, so in my opinion, this is a very cool new Pokemon. Why should the shell stay at the tail if it can just like eat whatever it wants? So putting it on the head was a very cool and unique take on this new Pokemon. And the next Pokemon is going to be Trelucinate, which is going to be the evolution for Hypno. So, as you can see, Hypno kind of turned into a troll with this one, because if I remember correctly, Hypno is based on some sort of like Japanese or Asian like folklore like tale. So this being like the actual troll it was based on is very cool to see, and giving it the purple eyes is also a very cool like way of like putting a lot of contrast in the whole model. It just looks very cool, and I gotta say, this might be one of my favorites. I don't know why it has such a big head though. It kind of looks like Santa, but like green. The Goblin Santa or something. Next up, we now have Cruspukian, which is going to be an evolution for Kingler. Yeah, who would have thought Kingler would get a water... What is it? A water ghost evolution. As you can see, this actually is just an orb, which is like controlling a Kingler body, which is super creepy. Like maybe the shedded shell, maybe even, which is a very cool idea, but also very disgusting and nasty. But I'm also a very big fan. This Pokemon just looks very cool. If I push it, you can even see the orb kinda. Very cool. I love that. And it has like some sort of guillotine or something on top of it. Very cool. Next up, we now have Protectaboo, which is going to be the final evolution for Marowak. As you may know, the skull that Marowak and Cubone wear is actually the skull of its dead mother. So this like becoming some sort of like father figure with like a giant beard is cool, I guess. I would maybe like it more if we had like a mom evolution and like a dad evolution based on like gender, which would be way cooler in my opinion, because then we could actually have like the mom that all of the Cubones are like crying over. But aside from that, still a very cool model. It even wears a skull from a Marowak on its like little staff, which is pretty badass. And just like the long beard and stuff and like the cool looking like ghastly horns is very cool. Let's move on to this disgusting thing. So this one is called Abomaliva. So as you may know, we have Licky Tongue and Licky Licky, and then we have this thing. This guy just lost control of his tongue and just like put saliva everywhere. This is, I don't know, this is just disgusting, to be honest. The tongue is nasty. I hate the tongue. Can I get licked by the tongue? Yes I can. Okay, that, I am uncomfortable. Ugh, okay, get back in the ball. You're getting a 9 out of 10 because I do really like disgusting variants, but it shouldn't have licked me. Now moving on, we have the Pokemon Seragol, the new evolution from Seeking. Okay, I forgot the name, I'm not gonna lie. But this Pokemon is very uncanny. It kind of reminds me of like the old tales of like mermaids that they like stick out their beautiful faces and then the monster underneath eats you. I don't really like this design. It really like gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10, but I do really like the whole mermaid idea if that is what they were going for. And now we have the long-awaited Mr. Mime and Mr. Rhyme evolution, which is going to be Gestorama. And I'm not gonna lie, this has to be one of the best looking models I've seen in an add-on in a long time. This is really cool. I love this. So it really takes the Mime aspect and just turns up to 11 and makes it into a Jester, and I really like this. Also, if I saw this thing at night, I would probably lock my doors. This is also kind of creepy, and that's why it gets a 10 out of 10 from me. We only have 4 evolutions left, and the first one is going to be Blizabeth, and this is just Princess Peach, but like with a way sassier face and in my opinion, a way cooler design. This is the absolute best evolution I could have ever imagined for Jinx. Now we have Minotaurus, which is the new evolution for Taurus, and this one, wow. This is one cool looking Pokemon and one cool looking model. He's even doing like a little spin to show us his little 3-tail shenanigans going on back here. This is a cool looking Pokemon. I love the idea of like a giant like bull. We can ride this Pokemon. This is even cooler. Okay. Yo, and the animations are so cool. And we're so fast. Oh my god, oh my god. Turn around, turn around. I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. The horns look absolutely cool. The yellow eyes and just like the monstrous build. I love this Pokemon and its model. And now for our second to last evolution, we have Ditrans, which is going to be the evolution for Ditto. As you can see, this Pokemon is based on the Pokemon you play as in Pokopia, the Ditto. It has the hair, it has the Bulbasaur's vines, it has Magnemite's piece of head sticking out, a little hat, and a big smile. I love this Pokemon. I've actually never played Pokopia before, so I'm not really attached to the whole like community but I do really like this Pokemon. I'm also happy that they didn't just make the evolution to Ditto. The Pokopia character, they really did give it like a unique spin. You can literally see all of the things, all of the moves the Ditto learns in Pokopia on this character, so that's very cool to see. And now guys, drumroll for the last Pokemon of today's video, which is going to be Poranger, which is going to be a split evolution of Porygon 2. So if you don't want a Porygon Z, you can get a Poranger, and as you can see, this Pokemon is a Steel Fire type, which is a very cool typing, and also a very cool model. It even has like a rocket on its back. I'm gonna give the last Pokemon of today's video a 10 out of 10 because Poranger is very cool, and personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Porygon Z, so this would be a Pokemon I would choose every time above Porygon Z. Well guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I really hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and also leave your favorite pre-evolutions and evolutions in the comments down below. But that's going to be it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.